Let's talk about Braeden Davis. Braeden Davis drops into consolations, and I want to now. This is somewhat confirmed, but he actually has to wait. It will either be he's either going to wrestle Wirtanen of Michigan or Norris of Purdue. So the winner of that match will wrestle Braeden Davis, and Davis needs to win that one if Davis wants to clinch a spot at NCAA. So it's not just, okay, well, this is just a matter of pride for Braeden Davis. He just needs to win to build his confidence. No, there is something tangible on the line. He cannot afford to lose in consolations until after the first consolation match that he has to go through. So it's either Norris of Purdue or Wirtanen of Michigan. As for Davis's loss to Dylan Shawver, look, Dylan Shawver is a good wrestler from Rutgers. That is not somebody that Davis is a heavy favorite against. He defeated him the first time around 2-1. It's not like that was a major decision, tech fall, right? Davis still does not look 100% for what it's worth, but it's the passive wrestling. I feel like he somewhat regressed in this matchup. He thought that he was going to get away with being able to just, okay, if I stall, if I win with my defense, I should be able to move on and ultimately face Drake Ayala. Maybe save some moves for that potential semifinals match. And it's just the passivity, but it's also a lack of confidence. The reason he is wrestling, at least from my point of view, the reason he is wrestling passive, it seems, is because, do you notice when Dylan Shawver ultimately got that takedown, it was the one shot attempt that Davis actually tried, where he tried to be the aggressor on offense, and it ultimately turned into 3 points for Shawver. Davis, what I didn't like about the Davis match in particular is that even though as good as he is defensively, Shawver was able to pick him up, not once, but twice. And that's from, everybody talks about heavy hips. You need to have heavy hips. Well, Davis doesn't have that. Davis's core or hip strength is not where it needs to be. So for Shawver to get him in positions like that, where he was vulnerable, because I feel like Shawver should have had more takedowns. Kudos to Davis for being able to fend him off those multiple instances. It wasn't until Davis tried to turn defense into offense where he gave up that takedown in the final seconds. I also don't like the call from the referees. I'm not going to complain about it and say, oh, well, the referees, they made Davis lose. No, if you don't want the referees to intervene, you need to be winning. Do you know how the referees change the outcome? Then don't leave it up to the referees. Don't let their judgment have a say in your match. And that's easier said than done. But if you don't want the referees to intervene with any controversial calls, then make it so it doesn't happen. So Davis is better than Shawver. I truly believe that, but he wrestled a tough match. It's still a tough opponent. He didn't get the best call in the world at the end. I think there's a confidence element. I really do. I don't think Davis is where he needs to be in terms of his physicality and his mentality, but he's got to pick it up going into consolations. He cannot afford to lose that first consolation, because then I don't think he gets into NCAAs. I think it's a judgment call at that point, but it's not a guarantee. He could still get in, but then it's not guaranteed that you automatically get an entry into NCAAs. It goes to the judgment for the tournament. It goes to the criteria. So don't leave it up to that. You want all 10 there. Davis is not 100%. I would not be surprised. It would not surprise me if Davis does go on to win that consolations matchup, because he's better than Wirtanen of Michigan. He's better than Norris of Purdue. And then ultimately injury defaults his next consolations match. Just get across the finish line, get your ticket to NCAAs, and then go rest and go from there.